do that. I want to be. How many of us have gone through the recorded version of yesterday? Sorry, it came a bit late, but I believe some of us have seen the link already. You can always go and have a refreshing moment there again, right? So thank you very much. So without wasting much of our time, we want to invite our resource person, Mr. Wells, to take over the class now. Thank you so much and welcome, sir.
Okay, thanks so much, KUZANG, and thanks so much to everyone who is available at this time. So without much ado, I think we'll be going to what we have in today's section. Today's section promises to be great. It promises to be way better than yesterday. So I just want to believe we are fully ready and fully packed to get all that will be disseminated today. Yeah, also to add to this section, we'll still be giving out 20,000 Nigerian Naira again today. And at the end of the section, we'll still be giving out a PDF material as well. So you make avail the opportunity to maximize the moment so that you can gain and still get to have a little token of appreciation from us. But that appreciation will just be going to just one person, just like yesterday. I don't know if Mr. Kelechi is around. I think he has gotten his own payment. Mr. Kelechi, are you in the house? Okay, maybe he'll be joining
Mr.
us
Kelechi,
later.
are you around? Have you got it? Can you confirm the receipt of your 20,000 Naira gift?
Yeah, good evening all. Yes, thank you so much. I got it. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Great. So we'll be crowning it all up today with.
Hello?
Yeah, we'll be crowning it all up today with what we have to learn today. There are 20,000 to be given out today in the course of the section. So avail yourself the opportunity to pay the best of attention so that when possible questions are asked, you'll be able to answer correctly. So what we'll be looking at today, we'll be looking at travel insurance, some immigration laws, and lastly, proof of funds. So I just hope within the limited duration of time we have, we'll be able to maximize every bit of these topics. But to get us all started today, first, we are going to be starting with the immigration law. And I think by a general vote, Canada will be most preferred because it seems today that most persons who want to leave African continent who want to go to Canada, want to migrate to Canada. And I still want to believe that a whole lot of us here are actually entities or organizations who will be preparing the African market in their migration journey to Canada. So it's worthy of note that we get ourselves adequately informed on what exists, what applies, and all that you should know so as to be well equipped and informed to stand as a professional to guide participants or clients or whosoever wants to migrate to Canada. So that is just all that I'll be looking at the aspect of the Canada. Now, when we move to the travel insurance, we are going to look at the recommended travel insurance agencies which we explore for each of the regions we most likely be getting applicants for. Then lastly, we'll look at proof of funds with no deposit. How to go about that? So first, we'll be starting with the Canada immigration. So the Canada immigration, there's actually a PDF material which we have put in together for every participant, which is titled the Canada Visa Success. Just like we started yesterday, we get to look at if we get to meet all of the requirements, certainly visa will be granted. You don't have to do anything outside meeting the requirements, the right documentation and all. So in a view to this now, as touching Canada Visa Success, I will be bringing resource information from an immigration lawyer perspective, which I am. So we get to tell you all that applies, all that exists, and most likely possible reasons why an approval is given or why there's a denial. So we'll just look at 3 to 4 sections under the immigration Canada immigration policies or all we need to know about Canada. We'll start with an introduction, which is going to talk about the overview of the Canada immigration system. And we also get to look at the importance of understanding the Canada immigration process. Then in sequel to that also, we are going to look at the types of Canadian visas. Because most times we actually want to get visas for our clients or for persons who actually wants to migrate to Canada. We ourselves as professionals might not even know the right visa for them. Because if you don't know the right visa for your clients, failure or denial is just a knock away. So we are going to look at the types of the Canadian visas. We are going to look at steps to apply for a Canadian visas. And in sequence to that, also we'll look at the tips for a successful application. Then lastly on that, we'll look at common challenges on visa success, the Canadian visa success, and how to overcome them. We are going to look at that and a few case studies if time permits. So first, let's start with the overview of the Canada immigration system. Now, one thing that is so common about the Canada immigration system, it is renowned for its openness and diversity. Now, Canada is actually known for its openness. Even as we speak today, Canada just rolled up a new program that actually avails people with visiting visa to actually convert to work visa or study visa on or before the 28th of February for 2025. This is Canada being open, attracting individuals and persons from all over the world. And by statistics so far, Canada has been one of the most welcoming countries, especially with its vast range of immigration pathways. The immigration pathways in Canada are just too many. But oblivious to the information is most professionals or traveling consultants actually don't know all of the pathways that applies. But thank God for this section. You actually know all of the available pathways and some pilot stream programs you can actually explore either for yourself, your friends, your family members, your relatives, and even for your clients. So Canada is actually known for its openness in attracting individuals from all over the world, welcoming every nation. I can say of a certainty, there are absolutely no nation in the world that most likely will not be in Canada today because of its openness and its wider range of immigration pathways that has been tailored to satisfy different needs and qualifications, as well as supporting family reunification and other humanitarian efforts. So we are going to look at all of these things. Historically, time will fail me. I might not go into some of the histories about the immigration policies and all. So when we get the PDF, you can actually take the time to read through. So let's just look at some immigration pathways, also immigration categories with which you as an individual, your clients, or persons or people can actually explore regardless of their nationality to find their way into Canada. Some among these immigration categories is the economic class. I don't know if some of us have heard about the economic class. The economic class includes pathways like the express entry system. Is there anyone who has heard about the express entry system before? I don't know, but these are the economic class pilots programs. The express entry system, which I will explain in details. We also have the provincial nominee programs. These are still part of the economic class and other streams that are targeted to skilled workers, entrepreneurs, and investors. Outside holding visas, Canada also have what is known as the investors visa. The investors visa is actually open to entrepreneurs or people who actually want to establish or set up enterprises or businesses in Canada. And the essence for the economic class is just to fill in the labor market gaps and to also foster or promote economic development in Canada. Though with time, we are going to go back to the Canada website where we are going to see all of those things for ourselves. Now, the another immigration category that applies for coming or migrating to Canada is the family class. There's actually an immigration category called the family class. So this is basically for people who want to unite or reunify with their families, allowing citizens who are already in Canada to bring their relatives, their people who share blood ties or close and blood ties most especially with them, to actually come to Canada. And beyond those categories, we also have the refugees and asylum seekers. There are certain nations in the world where there are currently undergoing some natural disasters or man-made disasters. So that actually avail people from such nations to actually migrate to Canada using the refugee and asylum route. In that case, they can actually come to Canada, and with time, they can also be given the permanent residence. Now, we also have the temporary resident. The temporary resident is actually the most common one. And in most cases, those are the pathways or the immigration category that most of us who are actually into the Canada visas are actually running at the time. This include the tourist or the visiting visa, the international student or study visa, and the temporary foreign workers, which we are going to look at all of these things in details. But beyond this now, Canada still have other programs that are known as the point-based system. These systems actually engulfs or covers areas like the express entry framework, which we are going to be looking in the course of the class. So now, of all of these available pilot programs or immigration categories, the ease with which you can get visa is actually decided on certain conditions or your ability to actually get certain documents or the required documents in place. Just like it was stated yesterday, that for every denier, it is not actually our village people, especially coming from an African standpoint. It is not to be blamed on village people or some forces actually mitigating or preventing us from getting the visas. It's simply as a result of one or two reasons. So what are some of the possible reasons that could bring about all of these things? Is the most common reason why we should understand the immigration process. Because if you don't understand the immigration process, you are liable to have the following issues. One, make mistakes at the cost of the registration of a particular visa service. You could actually make some mistakes. But if we get to understand the immigration process to heart, we stand at the better chances of avoiding some pitfalls or common mistakes that most likely will bring about a denial. Some of those mistakes we will avoid with good knowledge is we are going to avoid mistakes like incorrect application or even incomplete application. Because if you don't get to apply correctly, that could lead to a denial, that could lead to visa refusal, that could lead to a ban. And in most cases, it could still lead to additional cost of reapplying again. But getting ourselves familiar with all of the requirements will help us avoid all of those pitfalls, which we are going to look at in few times from now. Beyond that, also now, if you understand the immigration process to Canada, you can actually maximize points and get to meet all of the criteria or the requirements that are needed of you. Because if you don't understand how the process works, you don't understand each of the immigration category, you might to some extent not know what is expected of you. Because certain applications require the candidate or the applicant to meet certain points, to have certain score rating. But if you don't understand all of these things, you might not be able to get the perfect application. And also to understand the timeliness when it comes to submission. Because when it comes to submission, there are specific windows for submission of quarters. And if you don't get to submit at the right or most appropriate time when you're going to do all of these things, when you're supposed to do all of that, that might actually jeopardize your chances for success. And also beyond that, also, it will help you to utilize your resources. Because payment for some of these visas goes between 120 Canadian dollars to even 2,500 Canadian dollars. There are applications, just visa application services that span even to 2,500 Canadian dollars. Remember, money is not easy to come by, so it's most worthy that we put every bit or penny of our money to a good use. So in a bit now, if we understand the process so well, every penny we are actually putting to the immigration process will actually be fully utilized. And lastly, will also be able to understand and to actually keep up with compliance for both legal and procedural compliances. But if we don't understand the system, you don't understand how it works, there's absolutely no how you are going to attain success. So in view to this now, let's look at types of Canadian visas. When we look at the types, we go over the Canadian government website and actually do one or two practicals on this, and then a few questions will be asked before we move to the insurance. Visa base, when we talk about the Canadian visas, we have first the temporary visas, and the temporary visas are divided into three. Basically, coming to Canada, there are just, if you want to use the temporary visas, and why are they called temporary visas? They are called temporary visas, reason to the fact that they only give you temporary residence in Canada. These visas don't confine permanent residencies on you, but with them, you can still work your way to getting your PR or getting a permanent residence. But we should know that the types of Canadian visas we have, first is a temporary visa. And the temporary visa is divided into three. One is the tourist visa, two, the student visa or the study permit visa, while third is the work visa. So let's take the first one. What is the Canadian tourist visa? Now, the Canadian tourist visa or the temporary resident visa is designed for who are the people who need the tourist visa. Not everybody needs the tourist visa or the visiting visa. So if you don't know who are the persons or the individuals or the client category who actually need this tourist visa, you to some extent will most likely not get your client application correctly. So the tourist visa is actually open to persons who are wishing to come to Canada on a short duration. So for anyone who just wants to come to Canada for a short duration, whether for tourism, maybe he or she's coming for a tourist event, he or she will be needing the Canadian tourist visa, because there are visas that are given to people only for short duration, either for tourism purposes, visiting families and friends, or attending business meetings and conferences. So if you got a client in any of this category, it simply means that your client will, you'll be making application for that client for the tourist visa. We shouldn't stress ourselves so much. The PDF will be shared at the end of the section where you are going to see all of these things in black and white, so you can still go back and make references to them. But I said the tourist visa is actually for the following category of persons. People who are coming for tourist purposes, they need the tourist visa. People are coming to visit family and friends, either for family functions, weddings, whatsoever, they need the tourist visa. Or persons who are attending business meetings. So if you are coming for a business meeting or a conference, for some of us who have done the conference or the Canadian conference visa, I'm pretty much sure you know it's usually a tourist visa or a visiting visa. It's a short stay visa. And the duration most times for these visas is 6 months. If the client gets to stay beyond 6 months, that is just the staying duration. When a person is holding the tourist visa, he or she is only permissible to stay in Canada for 6 months. But thanks to the new policy that the Canadian government rolled out today, with your tourist visa, you can actually get to have either a study visa that allows you to stay more than 6 months, or even a work visa that allows you to stay more than 6 months. And they have actually made an extension to next year, February. So for some of us who are holding the Canadian tourist visa or the visiting visa as it seems, you stand a better chance to get a conversion to a work or to get a conversion to a study or an exchange program. That will avail you an opportunity to actually get your permit to stay beyond 6 months, also pave way for you to start moving towards getting your permanent residence. And the same also applies to your clients as well. Now, what is the purpose of the tourist visa? The primary purpose of the tourist visa is to allow foreign nationals to enter Canada temporarily. That should be noted. Why an individual is holding the tourist visa is just to avail him or her the opportunity to come into Canada just temporarily, especially someone who is not a citizen of Canada, either by birth, marriage, naturalization, or as the case may be, or by investment. So that is just the primary purpose of the tourist visa. So what are the eligibilities? Why should you apply for a tourist visa? What are the things that you need to have in place? I'll spell them out and some other things you need. One of the eligibility that we foster, though a bit of that was discussed yesterday, is your intention to leave. Before you actually start going to apply for tourist visa, either for yourself or your clients, you must declare your intention. Why do you want to come to Canada? That question have to be answered in black and white. So applicant must demonstrate a clear intention to leave Canada at the end of their visit. So not just you coming to Canada, you must also establish the intention that at the end of your visit, you'll be coming back home. You won't use the visiting authorities visa for other purposes and not want to come back. You just have to establish that. And that is the more reason why for someone holding a tourist visa, he or she will have to buy a return ticket, especially when you are buying your flight ticket. You have to buy a return ticket. Otherwise, if you are not hold, if you don't have a return ticket and you are holding a tourist visa, you will not be allowed to come to Canada. The airline will not allow you to board. So you must declare your intention to leave at the end of your visit. Secondly, just like I said, you need good proof of sufficient funds. So financial sufficiency is also a core factor. So you need funds that will cover your stay in Canada, funds that will also cover for your accommodation. Let's say you are not staying with relatives. You need funds for your living expenses, as well as the funds that will cover for your return ticket as well. So a good proof of funds or financial statement of financial sufficiency will actually increase your chances. So before you even start applying, one of the mistakes we make as traveling agents or professionals in the field is we don't get to check the financial stability of the applicant or of our clients because he or she just works to our office. I do understand we want to make money. So when anybody that comes to our office, as long as they're willing to pay your own service fee or they're willing to pay whatsoever amounts you charge for your service, you don't get to put certain factors into consideration. And this, to some extent, the more reason why our application are to some extent being denied, or we get to have outright refusals in most cases. So you must ensure that which any of your clients who is applying should have a good financial standing. The next, just like I said yesterday, is ties to your home country. So the applicant must have a strong tie. So what are the things that enhances national tie? One is the applicant must have an employment letter. You should be employed, either self-employed or an employee. That will actually add up to the home ties. And he or she should have a family, one or two family members behind, either an elder brother, a younger brother, whatever the case may be. You should have a sibling or you should have a relative. Your identity should be traced to a family. The next we can also add to the list is national assets or ties to our home country are landed properties. If you don't have landed properties, if you have shares, you have stocks and all of that will actually increase your chances. So you must be able to have that in place because that will increase the chances of your return after the visit. Because if you don't have any of those things, there's absolutely nothing to lose. You don't have a job, you don't have a business you run, no family member behind. You don't even have any assets, properties, you don't have shares and stocks. So there are chances you will not return. And the visa and the approving officer is checking for all of these things. Because the reason for most denial is because the applicant or the client in most cases is not having sufficient evidence to attest their return or to tell that they will come back if at all they are granted the visa. The next is the applicant must be in good health. That's why in most cases you have to do some tests. For some nations, you have to do COVID tests, some you do tuberculosis tests. So you must have all of those things in place. And also no criminal record. That is more reason why when you are making applications, you have to, for Nigerians, you have to come with a police character or clearance certificate. Sometimes you have to come with National Drug Law Enforcement Agency's clearance certificate. It sometimes applies in most cases. So you must ensure that you have all of these things in place. And alongside that, you should have your itinerary in place, which is your flight ticket or hotel reservations if you are not residing with it, if you are not going to be visiting any family or friend over in Canada. And if you are visiting, an invitation or a business letter should also be provided. So these are the eligibilities that actually qualifies one to apply for the tourist visa. Now, what are the application process? The first is document submission. And for you to submit your document, all you need to do is you just go straight to the government official website. I don't understand. Some agents might outsource their services to other people. But if you go to the government official website, every government in the world has official website. And a bit to most part of the information you need are actually there. All you need is for you to invest time and energy to peruse through all of those information so that you get all the necessary and right information. So the first approach is you are going to submit an application because you can't be given visa when you don't apply. So you have to apply. An application can be done in most cases online via the government website or portals, and in some other cases through paper application, especially for Schengen countries. Most times for Schengen applications, for some Schengen countries, you just have to come in with a physical Schengen visa application form. But for some nations like Croatia, you can apply online. It doesn't apply to all of the Schengen countries. Then when you have applied online, you must come with all of your supporting documents. So what are the documents your client or wherever you are helping to find his way or her way to Canada should have? Now, the proof of financial resource should be in place. There must be a travel itinerary. And travel itinerary is the flight ticket and hotels we talk about. And if he or she is going to visit a friend or a family, or he or she is going for a business visit, then what is expected next is letter of invitation if visiting family or friends or coming for businesses and all. Now, the next thing you need to pay is your biometric and fees. You have to do your biometrics and make payment for the fees or the processing of the biometrics. And the biometrics include fingerprints and photographs, which is your photo passport or the photo ID of the applicant. Then you have to pay the processing fee. Now, the processing time for the tourist visa varies depending on the applicant's country. For Nigerians, sometimes it could take 3 to 6 months, especially for Canada. Depending on the nationality, your nationality and all, that could actually hamper or foster the rate at which your application will be approved. And don't forget that the maximum duration stay allowed with a tourist visa is 6 months, though you can still request for extension if you need to stay longer for valid reasons, such as unforeseen circumstances or extended family visits. Maybe you actually applied for a family visiting visa to come see a sick relative, and maybe you were thinking in 2 months the relative will be hale and hearty, but all of that never got to happen, and it's the ailment expands through to 6 to 8 months. You can still request for an extension, and if your reasons are genuine, you'll be granted. And also to add on that, before we go to the government portal and see how we can apply for ourselves, the tourist visa is actually in 2 phases. There is multiple entry and single entry. But most times for Nigeria, Nigerians are given multiple entry tourist visa. The multiple entry tourist visa simply means the visa allows the holder to enter Canada on a repeated occasions. And for Nigerians, it's 10 years. And most African nations too is 10 years. Yeah, it's 10
Your
years.
voice is
So for
breaking
most
up, sir.
African passport holders. Okay, sorry to that. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
There were points
Yeah,
where
we
we
can
didn't
hear
get
you.
part of what you said.
Yeah,
We
continue.
can
Oh,
hear you, but it's breaking.
I can hear
okay,
you
sorry
clearly.
to that. Okay, great. So now, I said the tourist visa is in 2 phases. We have the multiple entry and single entry. Multiple entry usually is what African passport holders have been given, especially Nigerians. You will get a 10 years multiple entry to Canada, and that duration allows you to stay in each of your visits for 6 months. Do not exceed the 6 months, because if you are caught, the visa might be annulled. So do your best to stay within 6 months. And while you are there, thank God for exchange programs, conversion programs, and all. If you intend to stay beyond that, you can start working towards getting an exchange program or converting it either to a study visa or a work visa that will avail you to stay longer than necessary. And some other part of the world only have single entry visa. So the single entry tourist visa only avails the applicant to come to Canada, just to enter Canada once. And after that, he or she is not allowed to come again, or he or she will have to make a fresh application. Now, to apply for the tourist visa, what should you do? So I'm going to go over now to the Canadian government website. So there I will show you what to do. The link is canada.ca. So it's easy peasy. You too can do it. It's not rocket science. Just like I stated yesterday, if you provide the right required documents, certainly approval is just a knock away. But if you don't provide the right documents, you are practically not going to be approved. So when you visit there's the Canada official, the Government of Canada official website. So everything you need to do, from visas application, work permit, all of the programs we are going to be discussing in the course of this section, you can do all of that right from this website. It's easy peasy, very easy to navigate. It's not so difficult. It's in English and in French. So, but I believe Nigerians, we are Anglophone country, so we speak English. So you can have it there. And for times you actually want to do anything, just go straight to the government official website. All the informations you need are there. So now let's assume we want to apply for the Canada visiting visa or tourist visa. All you need to do when you come to the government official website, there are series and several services on that website. And one of them you can see is Visit Canada. If you can see my screen, Visit Canada is actually where you go to, or you just go to Immigration and Citizenship. That you'll get all of the information. So when I click Visit Canada, it will take me to a page where all of the informations you need are there. Then all you need, though, before you start your application, you have to create an account on the government portal. So here you see, when you come to Visit Canada, say find out what document you need to travel, to visit family and friends, do business or transit, for those who actually need the Canada transit visas, and how to extend your stay. So all of the things that are contained in those documents were resource materials that were sourced out from this official government website. So it's not rocket science, it's not special knowledge, it's just information being utilized. So when you come to the Visit Canada, one of the things you need is when you scroll down, you can see all the information you need, how to apply for a visitor visa. So you don't have to start sourcing most part of these services to an agent or to third parties. You too can do it. And that is the reason why we are setting up platforms like this, to actually have more astute professionals in the traveling space who are going to caution the lapses and lags that the travel industry over time has been facing due to inadequacies and inefficiencies and even knowledge drain in the side of some of the persons who have been helping applicants in the
Are you there, sir? Hello?
Hello, sir. Please hold on.
Is this
Probably
network?
Sammy.
hear
I think
you.
let's hold on.
It's
Let's hold
network.
on.
Let's
Let's hold
give
on.
him time.
Let's hold
Yeah.
on for some.
On the phone.
Oh, am I the only one that can't hear anything?
No, you're not the only
It's
one.
not. It's not. Yeah, yeah. Just hold on.
You will come back.
I think
Just hold on.
Network.
Let's hold on a minute.
So can't hear.
Patient. Let's just be patient. It's network. Let's just be patient.
The network is very, very terrible. Very, very bad.
Hello, madam. You can as well check if he's at the waiting room so you can readmit him. You know it happens.
Yeah, I've been checking, and I'm also looking forward for him to even on WhatsApp. So let's just be patient. I think network is can be funny at times.
Hello, I'm not hearing anything. No. Hello.
Sorry, I'm
He
trying to
hasn't
reach
come
out
up.
to him. He's not up yet.
Everybody's not hearing. I think it's network. He's dealing with network.
It happened yesterday. It happened yesterday. Let's wait. We are waiting.
Still trying. Okay. Still trying to reach him. Okay. It's like he's back now.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right, he's back now. Welcome back, sir. Hello, welcome back, sir.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Welcome back.
Okay, great, great. Yeah, thanks so much.
Welcome back, sir.
Okay, now back to, yeah, thanks so much. So now, basically now, when you come to the Canada government official website, just like you can see my screen, easy peasy.
We can't see your
first,
screen
let's go
anymore.
back.
Okay, it's back. Yeah, we can see your screen. It's back.
Okay, let me just share my screen again.
We can see it.
I see your screen now. We can see it.
Okay.
It's back now.
First, when you go to the official government website, which is canada.ca, you are going to see where it said visit Canada. So all I need to do is I'll go to visit Canada because I'm coming in as a visitor with a tourist visa, with a temporary resident visa under the stream of tourist visa. So here I'll get all the information I need to apply for a Canada visit visa. Here it says apply for a visitor visas. Electronic travel authorization is for some countries. There are certain countries that don't need a visa, like the US don't need visa to come to Canada. They need an ETA. Just like for you to visit Kenya, you don't need a visa, it's just an ETA. So Nigerians can go to Kenya with just an ETA. For you to visit Singapore as a Nigerian, you don't need a visa. You need just a Singapore arrival card. So this, you can just get them in fewer minutes, between 30 to 1 hour, you can get any of these. So for Americans and other parts of the world, like United Kingdom, who don't need Canadian visas to come to Canada. Some who don't have free visa entry just need the ETA. But for Africans, or for most part of our clients who wants to go visit Canada, either as tourists, either to visit friends and families, business conferences, or even to do short study programs, what is expected of them is just for you to get them the application, just come to apply for a visitor visa. When you click on that, it takes you to the IRCC portal where you'll be signing up. And signing up is very easy. You just have to sign up with your email. Here you can see who needs a visitor visa. That is eligibility. How to apply is to come to the website. After you apply, what should you expect? And down, prepare for what your arrival. And get to see now that to apply for a visiting visa, the application fee is 100 Canadian dollars. And 100 Canadian dollars to Naira . So 100 Canadian dollars to Naira as displayed by Google is 106,784 Naira 0.25 kobo. So it's not so expensive. So even you can give it a trial. Before you even start applying for your client, if you have meet all of the eligibility criteria, you can decide to apply for yourself. It's not rocket science. So the fee is just 100 Canadian dollars. That is all we need to get this thing done. So how to apply? Let's just go straight to how to apply so that you can actually see how it works and how you can apply for yourself or for your client and pay the application fee. It helps us to see everything we need. So why are you applying for a visitor visa? If you fall under any of this category, you select the category you want. The first is to visit as a tourist. That is a tourist. To visit for business, this person is or partner who has sponsored you for permanent residence is why you should apply for this. For a family visit, for compassionate reasons like religion, sport, as the case may be. The next says to join a vessel as marine crew members known as a seafarer. You get that now. So now what we need to do is we select to visit as a tourist. Let's say we are coming into Canada as tourists. We don't have any family invites. Nobody's inviting us. We ain't coming for any business purpose, just to come in as. So when I select the option and I click continue, it will take me to where I can start my application. So now you can see it's going to spell out all the documents I need. Just like I stated yesterday, a denial is not village people. A denial is simply an omission or one of those things not in place. If these required documents are not in place, the chances are slim and a denial or refusal is just close. So they say documents we accept. The government will even tell you what you need. So you don't have to start asking anybody. Straight to the website. Now you need a passport. For Nigerians and most African nations, we have passports. Regular, official, or diplomatic passports from most countries. You get that now. So most of your applicants are African markets. So the first requirement is they need a passport. And the passport should still have a duration of 6 months and at least with 1 page left. So that is the first. Alien passport, those are not for US permit to re-enter, those are not for us. Now, these are documents they don't accept. So they don't accept passport from Somalia. They don't accept passport, non-readable passport issued by Czech Republic. They don't accept temporary passport issued by the Republic of South Africa. And they don't accept provisional passport issued by Venezuela. So that is what they don't accept. Now, the next is submit this document with your visa application. So you must come with your passport invariably. Family members or third parties who apply on behalf of the applicant need to complete this form. Let's assume you are applying on behalf of your client because we are going to create an account. You are applying on behalf of your client. All you need is for you to download this PDF. This is the form. So when I click on it now, I'll show you the form so that you can see the form. And you can save it on your device, print it out, and give your client to fill. So when I click now, it's going to, okay, let me share my screen. Okay, this is the form now. When you are filling as an agent on behalf of your client, this is the form. When you click on this now, you are going to download the form. And let me show you the downloaded form. So I think it's loading. This is the downloaded form. If you can see my screen. So when you are representing someone or you are applying on behalf of someone, that is the form. This is the form on my screen. And you can save it on your device, print it, give your client to fill as the case may be. So these things are not so hard. So let's go back. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Oh.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
yes, sir. You can see.
Great. So
Yes,
let's get
yes.
back now. Next is if you're applying for a family member, let's assume your applicant or the applicant or your client, you are helping him or her to migrate to Canada to go and meet his or her family. This is the form to fill. You can download it. It's less than 5 MB. You can download it and you can also print it. Now, when you are actually making applications for minors, who is a minor? Anybody who is under 18 years of age is a minor. And he or she is not allowed to travel unless there's one parent or a relative or a friend is with him or her. You get that now. So these are the things to know. So if you're applying for a minor, there are details to include in your application. These are the details. So so that we don't get things wrong, you can't fail with facts. If you supply the right information, they must give you the visa. So if you are making application for minors, One, a letter that authorizes the minor child to travel to Canada has to be gotten. Other documents such as adoption papers or custody decree, depending on if the minor child travels alone or not. And for if it's your child, birth certificate to actually show the maternity or paternity of the child is needed. Once you have these things, the next now is other recommended document. So they are not leaving you aloof. There are other things you need. And all of those things is what we have said. Yesterday we said, Canada won't give you visa if you don't have travel history. You need travel history. You can see all of these things are spelled out for you as the agent, or if you're applying for yourself, you don't have to start paying some exorbitant and giving people who are not even competent. You can do all of these things all by yourself. Recommended document, travel history. If you have traveled to Canada or to other countries, show it. Come with the visas, your past visas. It should include previous visas in your passport. Now, let me say something. Now, because you want to travel to Canada, you now decided to start getting visas because you can get South African visa in 6 hours or in 1 week. You can get Kenya ETA in hours. You can get Singapore arrival card in hours. You can get Seychelles. You can get Maldives. You can even get Mauritius in 2 hours. That does not actually show travel history. Travel history must be attested on your passport. So if you have renewed your passport, go with the old one so that they can actually check and see all the places, all the stamps you have gotten from all the places you have visited.
Not again, no.
This time is very, very deep. Okay. So what are the details include? Your previous passport under travel history, you can see it's self-explicable. Your passport of visas used within the last 10 years to travel outside your country. Entry and exit stamps. Study and or work permits indicate your duration outside of country, expired or valid visas. So if you have expired or valid visas, come with them. Even if, let's assume you are applying for Canada and you are going to Schengen, any of the Schengen, come with all of those visas too. That will help you. So the first there, you can see the recommended document. Approving officer is going to check. They are not going to check you because of your dress. They're not going to check you because of your skin color. They're not going to check you because of your tribe. They will give visa to anybody who meets all of this eligibility status. The next is itinerary. We have talked about that. What is itinerary? Document that show how long you plan to stay and what you will do in Canada. Now, let me add to this. When we say travel itinerary, it's not just flight ticket and hotel alone. You also need an itinerary if you are going for tourists or you are going as a tourist rather. What are the itineraries? Now you are spending 5 days in Canada. Day one, what will you do in the morning? What will you do in the afternoon? What will you do in the evening? Where are you visiting in all of these places? Since you are coming as a tourist, you must have all of that in black and white. Your flight ticket is not enough. Now you have dummy ticket. We are so grateful you have that in place. You have done hotel reservation. We are so grateful and it's confirmed. Everything checked. And you are telling the visiting or the visa approving officer that you are going to Canada for tour. Now you don't ever have any document to show the places you intend to visit when you come to Canada. So you need an itinerary document. And to get an itinerary document, you can get that in less than 2 to even 15 minutes. Thank God to AI. With the help of AIs, you can generate itinerary documents. And if you can't, with $5 to $10, you can get a standard itinerary document. When you arrive Canada, okay, where are you staying? You say you are staying in XYZ hotel. Where will you visit the next morning, the next day, the second day, the third day, and all of the times you want to stay as a tourist? So you must have all of that in place. So these are the details of
Can't hear anything again.
It's off, I guess. Network.
Okay, now I think can you guys hear me now?
We didn't
Yes,
hear
I
the
hear you.
last
Yes,
what you said.
Yes.
Okay, now what should be included in your itinerary? Your flight details, dummy tickets, dummy flight, confirmed, not a reservation. Don't go and do a reservation in Qatar Airline and print it. That's been paid for over time. Most of the agents who are preparing
This
applicants
is where
or
we will
clients for
need you.
these visas use
You-
reservations. Okay, great. So now when you want to do yours for yourself, relative, family, or your client, never use a reservation because these things will be checked upon. When you submit your application, before they give you an approval, they are going to verify all the information and documents you are bringing. So use a dummy ticket, hotel reservation verified. And if you are going on using the conference route, let's say you are going for a conference visa, the registration for the event, the document that ascertain that you have registered, and if most likely an invitation from the organizers of the conference have to be in place. So don't just, okay, you say you are going for a conference. There are no proofs to show. You should even go with the payment receipt that you registered because everything counts. Everything counts in order for you to stand a better chance of getting approval. The next document is bank statements. What should be included in your bank statement? Watch it. You must, this allows us to contact your bank. You can see what they are saying. In your bank statement, don't carry doctored bank account statement. It should be valid. The validity of the bank statement must have the signature and stamp of the bank. If, for instance, when way back in Nigeria, we use GTB. So the GTB stamp must be on your PDF, must be on the bank statement. And it must carry an e-signature from the bank. That will be checked upon. Your name and address on the statement shows that the account is yours. So when you are applying, use the address that is on your bank account. Don't use your home address because some of us, our current address were not the places we were when we were signing up or opening bank accounts. Your name and address on the statement shows that the account is yours. And lastly, at least 6 months of account details, including balances. They said this helps us to understand your financial situation. Now you are going for proof of funds and you are going to with bank statement. You now brought an account that you have not been operating for the last 2 years. And when they print the bank statement, the only transaction was the one you did 3 hours before you got to the embassy or before you got to the VFS center. All of those are red flags. They don't even have to stress themselves to check anything through. You'll be disqualified or refused. Now, what are other things you need before we go to sign in to the IRCC portal? They said authority to release personal information to designated individual. Yeah, you have to fill a form to allow immigration, refugee, and citizen Canada to release your personal information to someone you choose. For instance, you want an immigration lawyer to handle your application for you. In most cases, the safest way to apply for a Canada visa is not in Lagos, neither is it in Abuja VFS Center. VFS Center is also a traveling agency. As a matter of fact, they are traveling agencies from India. The only advantage they're enjoying is they enjoy collaborations with most governments of the world whose embassies or consulate are not situated in Nigeria. So the cheapest and most advisable way is to apply directly to IRCC in Canada. Then just go with your visa white paper for biometrics and photograph capturing. That is the safest. Because if you actually want it to be quick and fast, giving it to VFS Center can take 7 months to even 2 years. Like a current case study of someone I had applied, came for biometrics in 2021 July. Then he now got the visa January 2024. I'm sure you don't want to keep your clients in the dark or you don't want to keep yourself waiting for that long. But notwithstanding, if you don't have any immigration lawyer you want to use, you can still do it yourself. Now, when you have met all of these eligibility requirements, you are sure that you have all of these documents handy. The next is you log into IRCC portal to start your registration. And in the case where you don't want to apply online, if you want to apply using paper for specific situations, it's there. If you need, you can go through because of our time, because we still have other visas to look at. Let's not just take the time here. Now, how do I sign up in the IRCC portal? It's not rocket science. It requires just email address and password. That's all you need. Click on it. It's going to take you to the IRCC portal. So for you to sign in successfully, you need the following. You'll get an invite code, and most especially when you are creating an account for the first time. They say if it is your first time using the IRCC portal, you need an invite code to create an account. Once you have your code, you can create an account in the portal and sign in. Now that after you have signed in, make sure you have all of your documents in place. You complete the online application form and upload all your documents. Now the next is to pay with your credit card. Okay, so in the light of that, Stella Travels, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you, sir. Yes, we can.
Okay, greetings to you, Stella Travels. Can you tell me?
I'm hearing you,
Okay,
sir.
great. Yeah, I want to ask
But you're no longer sharing
now. Stella Travels. Okay, fine. Yeah, I want to ask a question. I'll go back to the screen.
Okay, sir.
I'm asking a question now. Stella Travels, how much are we paying in Canadian dollars to sign up for a visiting visa?
For the truth, I just joined.
You are breaking
Okay.
up. We can't hear you,
Okay.
again.
$100. It's 100.
Can you hear me
Can I
now?
say?
100.
100
Okay,
Canadian
no,
dollars.
100
it's
Canadian
not
dollar.
valid anymore.
100 Canadian
Thanks
dollar.
so much. It's 100 Canadian dollar. Okay, great. So let's go back. Can you see my screen? Great. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Yes.
Screen is not popping
Not
up.
Yes,
yet.
sir.
Okay, great.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay.
Not
For those who are saying
you
it,
can see. We cannot see it.
okay,
We can't see it yet.
let me share again.
I can't see your
Please
screen.
share
Let me
again.
share again.
I can't see it. I can't see it yet.
Can you see my screen now?
Okay, yes, I can see it now.
Yes, you can see. Yes,
Okay,
I can see it.
Great.
Yes, it is
Okay.
showing now.
Saying it.
Great. Okay. Now, when you have all your documents ready, you are good to go. When you have signed in, you have created an account, you have filled in the online application form and submitted all your documents. The next is you are going to pay for the fee. You are going to pay 100 Canadian dollars. Now they said we accept credit cards and prepaid cards from Visa, MasterCard, American Express, JCB, and Union Pay. Let me say something to this. I understand the
Sorry,
limitations
I
that
can't
comes with
see
the
your
Nigeria
screen. No.
Naira card.
Others are saying they can see it. I can't see your
Are other
screen.
people seeing my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir, we
Maybe
can
you
see
should
your
zoom
screen.
your screen a
Yes,
little.
I can
Very
see.
clear.
It's
Very
blank
clear.
here.
Yeah, I
Great.
can see it now. Yeah.
Okay,
We
great.
can.
Continue, sir.
Now, when you want to pay for the Canadian visa fee, you can't use your Nigerian Naira card to pay. You need a dollar card. There are two ways to get a dollar card. It's either you have a domiciliary Nigerian account. If you don't take the stress. You can still get a dollar card tomorrow morning. All you need is walk into any UBA bank in your vicinity, in your locality. Tell them that you need the UBA prepaid card. The UBA prepaid card will work. The UBA prepaid card goes for 1,000 Nigerian Naira. So you give UBA bank, whether you're an existing customer or you are not their customer at all, you don't need to be their customer to get this card. Just walk into their bank, tell them you need a UBA prepaid card. You give them 1,000 Naira for the form. Go with any means of identification. Go with utility bill validating your address. And don't forget 2 copies of passport photo ID, your passport photograph, 2 copies. The requirement to get that is for those who don't have domiciliary account, you need only utility bill validating your address. You need to go with any national government ID. Then thirdly, 2 passport photo and 1,000 Nigerian naira for the form. Then lastly, you need to deposit in the account into the card. So the card will be serving as both account and card. And the minimum from the last I knew is $10. So you can reach out to BDC vendors within your locality or your environment, purchase $10 from them, walk into UBA Bank with your utility bill, any means of national identification, then 2 passport photograph, 1,000 Nigerian naira, and 10 United States dollar. Once you have these things, in less than 30 to 45 or 1 hour, you'll come out with your dollar card. So with that, you'll be able to pay on especially for visa services. Naira card will not work because of the limitations from CBN. So once you have this in place, you have 100 equivalent. You might not be able to get Canadian dollars easily, but ensure you have the equivalent of 100 Canadian dollars in your US dollar card. So you can use Google. 100 Canadian dollars to dollars is what Google will tell you. Ensure you have that amount in that card. Once you have the documents in place, you have your 100 Canadian dollars in your card, Eureka. The next approach is to create your IRCC portal account since you are doing it for the first time. There are 2 ways to do that. One, you can request an invite code, but it might be a bit stressful. Let us go to the easy peasy. Easy peasy is create your IRCC portal account. I'll click on this, a page will display, then I will enter my information. Very easy. You will sign up on the Canadian portal and you can actually get to have it. Sorry, let's go back first. Let's get an invite code. Click to get an invite code. The invite code will be sent to your email. So you are going to enter your email address. So you can see the invite code here is simple. Just enter your email address. Whose email should I use? Let me pick a random person for the purpose of this class. Okay, there's so many persons. Okay, I will use Madam Wendy Fly. Wendy, good evening to you, ma.
Good evening, sir.
How are you today? Happy Sunday.
I'm fine, thank you. How are you too, sir?
I'm doing great. So we'll be using Wendy Fly. Wendy is also one of our partners on the flight ticketing solution. So we'll be using our email to sign up. There's nothing so special. If you use your email, it will work. You don't, it's not, the reason I'm using our email is just for the purpose of demonstration, right? Any email will work. And you can create an email very easy on your, you can create that easily. If you can't create it, talk to people around you, children, relatives, friends, go to cyber centers. You can get an email cheaply. So we'll be using our email. Can you just chat your email to me on WhatsApp so that I can just copy it and paste? Wendy, can you share me your email address on WhatsApp so that we can use it for the purpose of the illustration? Wendy, can you hear me?
I'm sharing it already.
Seems okay. Okay, great. Okay, great. Matwendi have shared me our email. So we are going to be using our email. The same applies to you too. There is no preference to email. Any email will work. Make sure it's an email you have access to. So this is our email. So I'm entering our email now, Wendy Talks 77. I'm sure everybody can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Yes, we can.
I'm not seeing what
Great.
you're typing.
So
on.
now I've entered email. So the next is get invitation code. Okay, now it's even here now.
I'm not seeing.
Can you see the code now? So we are going to copy this. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, I can see, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, I can see.
Great. So now I have my invitation code. The next I'll do is, okay, maybe you zoom your screen a bit.
What network is this one?
Okay, now so we'll move into the sign up page. Can you see continue to the IRCC portal sign up page? All I need is to click on this. It takes me to where I will now create my IRCC account to either register myself or my client or a relative for that. So this is a code. Can you guys see the sign up page now? This is a sign up page.
Yes, sir.
So this is a code that was generated.
Yes, I can see it.
This is a code here that I copied. So I'm going to use that to sign up. Now the next, I will enter the same email address I used for generating the code. So all I need to do is to enter back the same email ID I used for generating the code. So this is the email
network is
ID.
serious. So
Now the next is password. The next is password. Now there's a password preference. They say password must be at least 8 characters, no more than 15 characters. So don't use password that are more than 15 characters. I must include at least one uppercase letter, one lowercase letter, blah, blah, blah. So let's use the password KUZANG. So I'm spelling KUZANG. First capital K, U. Okay, Matwendi, give us your own password. Sorry. I did not, since it's your own account and you'll still be getting access to it after
go
the
ahead
class.
and
Can
put
you
a
just share
password,
me
sir.
a
Go ahead.
password?
I give you the right to choose to do a password. Yes. No problem, sir.
Okay, great. So when I'm done, I'll share you the password.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now the next is surname or the last name of the applicant. What are you applying for? Now, Matwendi, for the purpose of this class, we might just use random name. And I'm sorry, you have to create another email if at all you want to complete this registration. But if you have a current client or applicant at the time, you can share his or her surname. But if you don't have, maybe I'll just use random information.
Use random information, sir.
Matwin. Okay, great.
Use random information, sir.
Surname Trapsify. Okay, giving name or first name is optional. Let's use, okay, let's use Sunday. So Sunday. Now the next is select telephone number for the country or territory. Since you are not in Canada or US, select order. What is the die code for your country? Nigeria is 234. What is the telephone number? Let me just use random phone number 9057894523. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Correct. The next is sign up. Okay, sorry, I'm back now. And you guys
we lost the view.
Are you guys seeing?
Yes, I can see.
Let me stop sharing. Let me share my screen again. Okay, great.
Sorry, sir, I can't see your screen.
Now you can see we can't continue because our password is more than 15 digits.
Please
So
share again. I can't see it, sir.
Okay, can you zoom a bit, please? Okay.
It's not showing.
It actually has gone off.
The screen is not showing. I can't see your screen.
The screen has actually gone off.
Are you guys seeing my screen now?
No. Okay, it's like it's coming up.
Coming up.
Okay.
Coming up.
Okay, it's my screen.
I can see it.
We can see it now.
It's on now.
Okay.
It's up now. We can see.
Okay, now so I'm entering password now. Okay. Okay, so let's just do that now. Okay, let's see if everything is in place. See, we can sign up. Okay, that the password did not match. So I think everything is correct now. Sign up. So we'll wait patiently. So now a verification code has been sent to your email account. Matt Wendy, can you help us with the verification code? So when you sign up, a code will be sent for you to log in.
Okay, let me check it, sir.
You can share that with me on WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay, sir, I'm still checking for it.
Okay.
Let's Christmas tree. Let's Christmas corn. Corn. Look, Christmas reading.
Please help us mute the mic.
Okay, sorry.
Look, Christmas Look, Christmas cup.
The person with the baby.
I've sent it, sir.
I'll give his number. You don't have it.
We can see the screen. Okay, he's back again.
I've shared it, sir.
It appears we have lost it again.
Can you guys hear me now?
Okay,
Yes,
we can hear you.
We can hear you now.
I can hear you.
Hello, audio. Okay, great now. Great. So I'm logged in now. This is how the IRCC portal looks like. Here's your account profile. You can see edit your information. Let's say you make mistakes.
You can't see the
If
screen.
you need further help, you can click and get.
Can't see your screen.
Can't see
We
your screen,
can't see your screen anymore.
Let me share my screen again. Okay, I'm sharing now. Is my screen visible?
Yes, now.
Yes, it has come up.
It is visible.
It's visible now.
Okay, great now. So all you need to do now is this is the RCC portal. You can say sign as Sunday Traffified. This is the applicant we want to sign up for. You can edit profile here. So this is how the RCC portal looks like. There's nothing much to do anymore. Just scroll down. Can you see apply to visit? Study to work in Canada as a temporary resident. Make new refugee claim. So what do you want to do? And if you want to download citizenship certificate, you can. So in a bit now, all of these things are there for you. And if you want to continue an application you haven't submitted yet, you can. And lastly, when you go down, if there are any messages, most times IRCC will send messages to you from on your portal and not on your mail. So do well not to lost your logins. When you sign up either for yourself or for your client, or when you're applying for your client, ensure you document them, copy all the information you need to log in, and save them somewhere you can easily reach out for them. And the best place to save is to put it in your email. You can send it to someone or don't send it to someone, send it to your other email so that anytime you need it, you can log in with it. So the next we need to do at the time now is let's apply to visit. I know when you're going to visit, the conference visa, business visa, visit a relative, short study program, transit visas, all of them are included here. So I'll click apply to visit. Then we'll start the application form. We'll start filling the form since it's an online application. And ensure we upload all of the required documents. Then after that is done, first, make sure you are eligible before you apply. Even they don't like to deny you. So before you start, go and check before you start your application. Click on this place. I might not do that because of time. Click here and go and read everything they need. That's why I stated yesterday. Every denial or refusal is not the embassy, it's not Canada's fault. It's usually our own fault. Because they are putting resources together to make sure that you get it right. But in most cases, we don't do the right thing, because if we do the right thing, we get the right result. Now, secondly, the next thing is ensure your passport or other valid travel documents are handy. Have these items ready. We can see a credit card to pay the application fee of 100 Canadian dollars. Make sure you have that ready. Now, the next is select what you want to apply for. We'll tell you what documents you may need, answer the question in the application, blah, blah, blah. You have 60 days from when you start your application to submit a complete application. If you start an application and you don't submit in 60 days, the system will delete your information after 60 days. Okay, you are agreed that all these things you have them. Now you need electronic copies, either in these formats. Look at the formats they want you to provide. So any document you're uploading, make sure they're in any of these formats. Don't use your phone to scan documents. If need be, you don't have a printer in your office, or you don't have a printer in your home, you don't have a scanner. Go to cyber centers, go to computer scan, because it won't be all wise if the approving officer is training his or her eyes to approve you. Make sure you do I know there are softwares on Android and Apple phones you can use for scanning documents. Now, when you have agreed, you have all of these things. The next thing is to start your application. So you click Start Application. Then you start. Do you want to apply for more than one person at the same time? You can say they are just based. So you want something applying for yourself plus your spouse. Are not going with you immediately. Still add them to the application. It will save you costs. Although if you have gotten the visa, you can have a designated account. And don't forget the information you provided there are also linked with United Kingdom in most cases, because Canada and UK shares their information. They share similar databases. So ensure you supply the right information as much as you can to only supply verifiable and legal information. So if you have family members or you have plans to bring your family after you have approved, still add them now, even if they are not coming. Next, I'll click yes. Let's assume I'm coming with my family. So now, type of group, business group.
You are breaking, sir. Your line is breaking.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now, but your screen is gone off.
We can hear you, but there is no screen share.
Mr. Kelechi, I hope you are ready to share your food with us.
Hello.
The money first.
Okay, the money should come first, right?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me now?
I hope
Yes,
you pay
sir.
time.
Yes, we can hear you,
Yeah,
but
we
your
hear
screen
you.
is gone off.
But no screen.
No screen.
A while.
Yeah. Is it visible now?
Your screen is back.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
You can't see it yet.
Okay. Okay. Maybe you just zoom a bit on the screen. Okay, so okay now. So now let's assume you are applying for a group. So do you want to apply for more than one person? Accept it. Yes. Now, what type of group are you applying for? Business group, family, group of students, sport team, talk group, as the case may be. But now let's choose family. You can name your group. You can decide not to name it. Let's call it Trustify Group, for instance. Now save and continue. Very easy. It's not rocket science. It's not anything. Now that you are creating for group, the next you need to do is to add the members. So what are the members in this family? Your wife, your children. So you have to add every member to your group. So you start editing. You edit and enter their informations like that, like that, like that. This member that is coming with you, what is it coming for and all. So I think on this now, we might just go back to the notes so that I can explain other visas because we have just barely 23 minutes. This is the form. We have just barely 23 minutes to the elapsement of our time. So let me just touch other visas before our time elapses. And if you need further information, you can still reach out to the organizers. They will either give my number or communicate you directly. And a PDF will be shared at the end of today's section. So everything you need.
Please, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Please, I want to ask a question. If we are only able to get across to the organizers, is there every information, every question we ask from them they can give to us, or is there any need we reaching you?
Yeah, if the organizers deem it necessary,
we lost the voice, please.
The voice is cracking, please. The voice is cracking, please. Hello? 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 Hello?
We can hear you, but I think our trainer has gone off.
Okay. Because I asked, we are told that yesterday we can get his contact, but I discovered that it wasn't as easy as said. If the organizers can give us every tutelage we are getting now and in direction, no problem. But if they can't, they should make it available for us. We are here to learn.
Exactly.
No problem.
Exactly.
Just like I stated earlier, the organizers are friendly people. Most people on this group have my details. Most members who are in this class as we speak now actually have my contact. But reach out to the organizers. If you ask them questions and they deem necessary that you should reach out to me, then it's fine.
I asked for the number yesterday. I wasn't given the number.
Please, and we need it.
I asked for the number yesterday. I wasn't given the number.
Okay,
apologies to that. But yeah, apologies to that. I'm just a resource person, and I cannot.
Yeah, please, let's finish the class first. I think the organizers are quite good and they will give us anything we need. Let's focus on the class at the moment. Thank you.
I don't know, with these few minutes now, there are two things we've not touched at all: travel insurance and proof of fund. I don't know whether there's going to be a extension of the class for that.
Okay, now for other parts that are not touched, I'm sure the organizers will time. So another time will be made, or a date will be given, then the travel insurance and the proof of funds will be touched adequately. But so now let's go back to other types of visas. And with that, we might be rounding up. Now we have looked at the visiting or the tourist visa and the types and all. Now let's talk about the student visa. I think the student visa cut across most parts of our applications as agents or professionals in the field. So when we talk about the student visa or study permit, note the student visa is also called study permit. But you know, some agents will tell you, we have gotten your study permit. We have to go down, wait so that you go for your student visa. There is no.
It's not showing again. This is sharing a screen.
I hope the recording will not have blank spaces like this.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back now.
Some of
that
this,
should be understood. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are, sir. You are audible now.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, great. No. Okay, great. So now,
Okay,
I said there's no such thing called student visa or study permit. A study permit is also a student visa. A work permit is also a work visa. That should be understood. So peradventure, you are talking to your client, because most of the clients, you actually want to get them ready for Canada. Some of them have vast, wide experiences, so that we don't look like novice when they are talking. You are going to say, but it's also the same. You say, no, it's not the same. It says student visa or study permit is designed solely for international students who are wishing to pursue their education in Canada. So when you are willing to pursue your education in Canada, you need the student visa or the study permit. So what it does solely is to provide the international or foreign student access to Canada world-renowned educational institutions, and sometimes potentially pave the way to permanent residency. With this study permit or student visa, one can still get permanent residence. Remember, all of these visa types are still under the temporary visas. I said temporary visas include 1, tourist visas, student visa, work visa. So don't forget that. And a list of all of this information, I'm actually reading the PDF. So it's something I wrote. So you can, when you have the PDF, it's self-explicable. You too can read it and understand it in totality. So now, what is the purpose of the student visa? One is to allow foreign nationals to study at designated learning institutions in Canada. All of us have heard the cases of PAL, provincial attestation letter, and all. If an institution does not have DLI license, they will not be allowed. And let me also state, one of the biggest scams in history are study visas. Don't think that scams are with the blacks. That's not true. Scams are actually with the whites. Most of the schools you are trying to get application for, some of them don't exist. And a practical instance to attest this was most schools in British Columbia, sometimes until in February this year, that were shut down, never had DLI license. So when you are taking partnership with schools, or you are helping your clients, or you are helping participants or candidates or students to go study in Canada, ensure that each of the schools you are applying to have DLI license. If they don't have DLI license, it means they don't exist. Because I could remember some of the activities that were illicit then were some persons created university websites, and most Africans and other parts of Asians were applying, paying tuition fee and all, whereas all of those schools never existed. Now that will be so painful after paying thousands, because these things cost thousands of Canadian dollars, and only for you to find out that that school is not even existing. Whereas someone who is running that website might even be in Kenya or somewhere in South Africa. So ensure that whichever school you want to start taking partnership with, or you are trying to get admissions, they have DLI license. And note, the student's visa or study permit is not the only visa you need to study in Canada. If you want to do short courses that are less than 6 months, you don't need the student visa. You only need a visiting visa. And with that, if you get short courses to study in Canada, just like I explained yesterday, I believe the PDF will be shared to us. You see a list of schools that allow you to come do short courses, using that to pave way to gaining permanent residence, exploring routes like exchange programs and other available pilot streams in Canada. That can avail you the opportunity to even get permanent residence, and it's cheaper. It's the easiest, fastest, cheapest way you can find your way to Canada. Because most of those short courses.
Can I ask a question?
Okay, please do before I proceed.
How do we know the ones that don't have the certificate? How do we know them?
Every school that has DLI license will state that on their website. Okay, let's do a practical instance. Let me share my screen. CIMTcollege.com. They are actually one of our partners. Okay. Okay, now, and do you know, it's not just DLI license.
I'm not seeing the screen, sir.
I'm sharing that.
We're not seeing the screen, sir.
I'm sharing that now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, now.
Great. This is the school in Canada. Now, this school, this is their DLI license number. Can you see it here? Are we seeing the number?
Can't see anything. No, we
Yes, sir, I
can't
can
see your
see.
screen.
Can see your
You
screen,
can
sir.
see, and it's my
I
network.
can see,
Okay,
sir.
okay, we can see it.
So can you see this school?
Zoom.
Yeah, so this is their license number. And you can click here to verify. You don't have to be in the dark. Let's copy it. The reason why the DLI license is also very important. If a school doesn't have DLI license, the designated learning institution license, there's absolutely no how. There is no how you are the school will be able to give you provincial attestation later. Do you see that now? And if they don't have DLI license, you can't get postgraduation work permit. Time will fail me to talk about all of these things. But I just pray the organizers give us another chance so that we can actually delve into all of these things and utilize every bit of the resources we need to equip ourselves adequately to becoming juggernauts in the traveling space. So that is that. So the purpose is to ensure that the student that is coming to study is not coming to study in an unapproved school. For Nigerians, I can remember way back, there's a body called the Nigeria University Commission. They have to approve certain courses. And there are some instances where if a course is not approved by NUC, when you are done studying it, it will not be, your certificate will not be recognized. So Canada also have that system. So now this visa enables students to gain high quality education, blah, 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 that could lead them to graduation and also get post-graduation work permit. What are the eligibilities? What do you need if you want to come through the study route? You need acceptance letter, which is known as LOA, letter of acceptance. First, you must have gained admission. And you must have valid acceptance letter from a DLI institute in Canada. That is the first. You must have sufficient funds. Canada is truly making it difficult for people to come through the study route. Now, you need not less than 20,000 Canadian dollars in your bank account as your bank statement for this, outside paying your tuition and all. The essence is to cushion the effects of the Vancouver trouble. The Vancouver trouble is most persons got to Canada, they couldn't pay for accommodation, and they started living under the code. So from 10,000 Canadian dollars, the government increased the quota to 20,000 Canadian dollars because of the increments in accommodation. But if you are using the visiting route or doing the short course, you don't need this amount as proof of funds. You don't need it. You just need substantial amount from the calculations we did yesterday. We did a calculation yesterday on how to calculate your proof of funds and all. So that is just what you need. The next is intent to leave. You must declare your intention that when you are done studying, you are going to leave Canada. Because though there's post-graduation work permit for those who are doing graduation programs, you are doing graduation programs like postgraduate diplomas, postgraduate certificate programs, postgraduate masters, or even PhD programs. You get a chance to have postgraduate work permit even to the tune of 3 years. So Canada has actually given PGWP for 3 years. So if you come to Canada to study any postgraduate course, note the PGWP is only available to public universities or public colleges or public institutions. Private institutions can't give you PGWP as at today. Maybe policies will change tomorrow. But as at today, if you go to study from a private-owned varsity, either a postgraduate program, you are not eligible for PGWP. And in most cases, after the course of your program, it's either while you are doing your program, you get an exchange program or get a job before you finish your program. Otherwise, you might be forced to come back home. So that also should be on the know. You mustn't have any criminal record. You mustn't have any medical condition. So you, in most cases, tuberculosis tests have to be passed. So you just have to do that. Now, the next is application process. What do you need to apply? The document straight to the point. One, you need your acceptance letter from a DLI university. You need proof of financial passports and so of financial support. Remember, I said it's about 20 to 21,000 Canadian dollars. You must have that in your bank account. Then your passport and other required documents. You don't need itinerary in this one, and you don't have to buy a return ticket. You don't need hotel. If you are not going to be staying in the campus, then you need proof of your accommodation. If you are not staying in the hostel, the reason why most people don't stay in the hostel is because they want to utilize the 20 hours per week offered job that is available to students who work for 20 hours per week. You might not have this comfort and luxury working, doing all of this from the confinement of the university hostel. But if you're outside, if you want to stay outside, you must first show them the proof of your accommodation. So you must have paid for at least a minimum of 3 months. Most cases, you could be lucky they'll waive it even if you pay for 1 month. So to actually cushion the effect, it's better to use the hostel than going outside to pay for accommodation, because you might be scammed in the process. You never could trust anybody online for payment. And sometimes the cost of accommodation outside might be a little bit expensive, because getting a normal condo, it might go between 600 to 800 Canadian dollars per month. So weigh your options. The next is the biometric fee, the biometric and the fee. Then while you are going also, you need study plan. So what is your study plan? You need statement of purpose, your SOP, explaining why you want to study in Canada and why you chose the school that you want to go and study. You need that in place. And ensure that the course or the program you are going for aligns with your future goal. For instance, you are writing an SOP that at the end of your course, you intend to start a business as an entrepreneur, and the course you are going for is medicine related. That might not work. You get that now. So ensure it aligns with your purpose. What are the work opportunities? You have on-campus work. Students can work on campus without a separate work permit. So when you are staying on campus, you can still work. For those who are staying inside campus, you don't need work permit to work. But don't forget, you only have 20 hours per week. If you are caught working beyond 20 hours, you might get a fine. For those who are staying off campus, you can work up to 20 hours per week during your academic sections. And when you are on break, you can work 40 hours, especially during summer or winter holidays. So when you're on break, maybe because most of the programs are 4 months. So at the end of in a year, 4 months each. So you have to do a section is two semesters as it seems. So for 4 months, so in between you have 2 months on break for break and holidays and all. You can decide to work when you are during your scheduled break period. You can work 40 hours. But when you are studying, when you are still in class, 20 hours. Let's not bridge it so that we don't get into trouble. So, and they also have cohort programs. Cohort programs are like, in the Nigerian academic system, are like intern or the IT, the industrial training. So that is what it's called, the cohort. So most times for some courses, you have to do cohort programs. In mandatory work placement, so you have to go and do cohort.
Can't hear you, sir. Am I the only one?
No, you're not. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
It's network.
I hear you.
Maybe it's network. I can't hear him. Same here. Network.
Sorry, I'm back.
He's back, yeah. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm back. Okay, great. Yeah, thanks.
Welcome, sir.
So, just like what I was saying, thank you so much, ma'am. You can only get post-graduation work permits only for graduate programs. For instance, you want to send your younger child to Canada to study. If he's coming to do undergraduate programs, at the end of his program, he will be made to come back to Nigeria. So you think and weigh your options perfectly. But if you are sending your undergraduate child or client to come study a graduate program, either postgraduate, either graduate diplomas, graduate certificate programs, masters, postgraduate diplomas, postgraduate programs, name it, baccalaureate programs, name it, MSc, then they are eligible for postgraduate work permits if the DLI varsity is a public owned or a government owned. Though some private owned varsities have the autonomy to also give have postgraduate work permits, and one of those is Khan College. So studying in Khan College avails you the opportunity. If you study in Khan College, though it's a privately owned, but people who study their graduate programs can actually get to have a postgraduate work permit. We have gotten a whole lot of clients who have come to this school, if you can see my screen, who are studying in this school. Do you see that now? So, and getting admission in Khan College is very easy. And there are courses you will do, you don't need PAL.
Sharing.
So, yeah, is my screen visible?
No.
Oh,
Your screen
no.
is no longer visible,
I
sir.
can't see your screen.
Okay, let me show my screen.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, now. Okay,
Yes,
I think I'll be rounding up shortly.
Can I go ahead?
Yes.
Okay, just avail me a short time. Once we are done,
Okay.
there'll be room for questions. Everybody will ask their questions.
All right.
Okay, now, for instance, this is Khan College. Khan College gives their applicants or people who come to their school the autonomy to see a postgraduate work permit, even though they are not public varsities. If you can see my screen, can you see their DLI number?
Am I the only one that can't hear anything?
Please unmute yourself,
No, you're not.
sir.
No, you're not.
I can't hear.
You're not. He has gone off
Oh.
again. His network
Hello,
is
sir.
terrible
We can't
today.
hear you.
Oh, today's one is.
The network is quite terrible.
Yeah, sorry.
The network is very terrible. Very bad.
Can you see my screen now? You can see my screen
Yes,
now.
sir. We can see it, sir.
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Okay,
Yes,
now.
Yes, sir, I can see.
I was talking about, great. I was talking about Khan College. So I said postgraduate work permits is available with graduate programs in public schools. But some private schools like Khan College, with them you can still get postgraduate work permits. And you can still do short courses that don't even require PAL. And Khan College has a designated learning institution ID. So they are recognized in their province. And for courses that require provincial attestation later, Khan College will still help you to get them. Isn't that exciting? And I said we have sent so many Africans, especially Africans, to this school. So many. The reason is because it's most affordable. Even payments are done instrumentally. You can even pay as low as 1,000 to start a program. Not so expensive. Let's just look at the fact check. Is there any fee to apply for admission assessment? No. You don't need a fee for admission. Can I get admission even if I don't have IELTS? Yes, as long as the school you are coming from, actually you were taught in English. What is the minimum secondary certification from your country? Yes, the minimum secondary certification is what you need. NECO, WAEC, GC, name it. NAPTEP, name it. Do I need to send with the admission application? Yes, I will talk about that. If optional, then there's an alternative. Do you have to pay tuition fee before admission or visa approval? No. I think this is what makes Khan College exceptional. Though we have a list of several schools like this. But for Khan College, you don't even need to pay tuition fee before you go for your visa approval. So they can still wait for you. When you have gotten your visa, then pay. But whether you pay or not, most times when your visa is denied, the schools will give you a refund. And you can also work while you study in Canada. Yes, it's here. Can I work while I study in Canada? Yes. Is there any maximum age limits to study in Canada? There are so many, but we might not get to look at several other varsities like Khan College. Study permits have been approved on Khan College LOA globally. So once you have the Khan College letter of acceptance, the ease with which you can get study permit as an international student is high. Admission is open, you can apply. You can start getting clients, get people to come to Canada using this route. Easy peasy. So let me go back to my notes. So that is that for the post-graduation work permit. It's open and it's there. So we'll be rounding up now. When next, I hope, I pray, I wish, and I just wish the organizers will give us another chance so that we can discuss the work visas and other pilot programs with which people can explore. You, your family, relatives, friends, clients, and anybody can explore and come to Canada without incurring so much cost. So at this time, I beg to and have the floor open to questions.
Right.
Okay,
Can I
sir.
go ahead, sir?
Thank you. Thank you very much. No, please let him pick the questions one after the other. If he calls your name, then you unmute yourself and ask your question. Please, everybody mute yourself, please, so that we can be organized. Thank you very much for that. So please, Mr. Wells, just pick the person. When you call the person, let him ask his question. If your mic is not muted, please, it's not correct. Mute your mics until you are called. Thank you. Hello, sir, are you with us?
Okay, great. First person here is Pastor Ife. So good. Yeah, I am. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Are you guys hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So
Yes, we can hear you.
the first person here is Pastor Ife. So Pastor Ife, you can ask your question so that you get answers. Pastor Ife, if you are there, you can ask your questions. Otherwise, we'll move to the second person. Okay, let's go to the second.
Let's move to the next person.
Okay. Yeah, the next person is Temitope.
Mr. Bashiru, please, can you help us mute your mic?
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Facilitator. Please, my question goes straight to when you were talking about sending your daughter or your child as for undergraduate school, and then it's compulsory that as soon as they are done, they needed to return back to Nigeria. So I want to ask, while they are about to round up their program, can they apply for like postgraduate program that will now make them eligible for this CR at the end of the day?
Okay, now, thanks so much to that question. Remember, postgraduate simply means the person has completed at least the undergraduate phase, because he has completed the post-high school phase, because that is where all of this comes from. So if the child has not graduated or completed his undergraduate program, there's absolutely no way he or she can apply for postgraduate program. But in the case where the child is done, maybe the child can still do exchange programs. If the child is able to get job, fine, he or she will still using his or her work permit. And sometimes, most people, these are just, there are certain routes, most times the Africans defame the face of the Black continent is because we don't know the right thing to do. For instance, somebody who gets to Canada, the essence, I do know, whoever that comes to Canada with visiting visa, the truth is not coming back. That even if you come back, everybody will be angry with you. Why did you back? So whatever the case is, we have to remain there. If you don't do a short course, you don't do an exchange program, work is not coming. Volunteer. Take some volunteering jobs that work for free. Because some of the house, but doing that, spending the time, instead of just staying outside in the prison code, trust me, if you come to foreign world, you get to see Africans are actually not giving us the good face. Now you have come in as a tour. You came for a conference. The conference is over. Okay, you have 6 months. No job is coming. Instead of just
Hey, the line is breaking terribly.
Seriously, we are really missing a lot this evening. Network isn't just fair on us this evening.
And it comes when he's saying some important nuggets, you know.
Sorry, I'm back. So now, while you are still trying to get that, though exchange programs has been the best route. When you come to Canada, you can take a course. You can even take apprenticeship course. You can take trade courses. They ain't so expensive. You don't have to pay so much. And those courses can say avail you to get an extension and even most likely help you to get in your PGWP. Or when you get a job, you can still use that to get your work permit. So in my view, if you have a younger child who's coming for undergraduate program, during the course of their program, or when they're done with their program, pending the time they get job or start going for their graduation program. But if they are done, they can still apply for postgraduate, which is that if they are given, that's good. When they are done with that master's program, they have 3 years PGWP. As long as it's from DLI recognized schools, usually public schools, and a few private universities that have such licenses. So I don't know if that answered your question, Ma.
Yes, I'm okay, sir. Thank you.
Oh, okay, great. So the next on the list is Mrs. Joy.
Okay, sir. I think let's do it this way. Let everybody ask his question. You write the questions down. Then once they are done, you mute. Because as it is now, a lot of hands are coming. Now, one question is generating another. If not, we'll not be going back. We'll not be rounding up this meeting today. It's over 2 hours already. Okay, so please, I think it's better they all ask their questions.
Yeah, I'm actually using an external public Wi-Fi, and I don't have my writing materials yet. So I don't know if that will work. But...
All right, then, no problem. So let's take it away.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Okay. Okay, so Madam Joy now.
Okay, thank you so much for.
As fast as.
I will. Thank you so much for all the nuggets. It's just unfortunate the network is not helping us. So, but for I'm concerned about this undergraduate program. I understand they have okay, there are some schools that has opportunity for you to take 2 years diploma. Would that 2 years be considered as a postgraduate, as an alternative? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, like engineering foundation, that is 2 years. After that, will it be considered as a postgraduate? It's a diploma,
Okay,
a 2 year
there are
diploma.
No, if it's a diploma, because we have diploma and postgraduate diploma. If it's a postgraduate diploma from a public school, to be considered. But if it's just diploma, it will not be considered. And in most cases, diplomas will require provincial attestation later. Sometimes most postgraduate diplomas also require provincial attestation later. The postgraduate work permit is conferred basically for people who are doing masters, but flexibilities have entered the system. Whether you're doing a post-baccalaureate program, a postgraduate certificate program, or even a postgraduate diploma, most schools today confers you with the ability to still get your 3 years postgraduate work permit. So in this case, if it's just an ordinary diploma, associate diploma, or just a diploma program, an individual or the client or applicant is running, that will not confine them with PGWP, which is a postgraduate work permit. But what some applicants do is, in the course of doing those programs, they might get a
Hello.
Wow, for the network today.
My God. It's so
And
late.
Network
the
is
organizers,
terrible.
we have to appeal to the organizers
I
to help
think
us. For this,
I think it's because of he's not really at home. He's still in church, so he's using the network in the church to do this. And that's what is making this making us to have these difficulties. Are you back, sir?
Networking abroad is a good one now.
Is this thing a broad network that is doing this for our own Nigerian network? Now, wow, today of all day.
Okay, now I'm back now.
Okay.
Okay, now,
You're
so
back again
Madam
now?
Joy, now, if it's a no, if it's a diploma program, you can't gain access. You can't. But if it's postgraduate, you can. But ensure you check off with the schools. And sometimes some of the schools will not list it on their websites. That is why you are a consultant or you are a professional in the field. You are to give the best advice by digging deep into information, hunting, and resource gathering to ensure that you provide the best of the best to your clients or intending applicants. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay, the person is already there. You know, we didn't have this information. It actually went for 4-year program, but they have the option to graduate after 2 years, and he's thinking of taking that route already, you know. And with this one, even if you finish the 4 years program for engineering, it means you just have to come back or take an exchange program. So I'm like concerned. I don't know how to advise them.
Okay, I think the candid advice at the time, using the current policies, is when he's done with his program, he should get an exchange program.
Okay.
Or if he's lucky enough to get a job, it's fine. But getting a job might not be so easy, so he should just get an exchange program. That will give him a better chance to actually compete favorably for the PR.
Okay. Okay, can they do training like all these skills acquisition you mentioned? Would it be like an exchange program?
Yeah, exchange programs include trade, short courses, postgraduate programs. Any program in any Canadian DLI institute is an exchange program. So why it's called exchange is because you came in to do A, B, C. But now you don't want to do ABC anymore. You are doing XYZ. So it's called an exchange program.
Okay. And that he can do even before graduating for the 4 years.
Yeah, but in order for him not to waste chances, let him graduate for the 4 years before doing an exchange program. Because if he's doing an exchange program, all of the effort and resources put in so far will be lost. So that will not speak well of the resources and value.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I have the opportunity to ask my question since yesterday, please?
Okay, it should be said
Thank
that he has utilized it and he has graduated before.
Can I have the opportunity to ask my question? I've been asking since yesterday, so it's not attended to. I sent text, so I think I have audio channel today. Can I ask now?
Okay, is this Mr. Felix?
Mr. I'm here, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, sir. So I should go ahead with my question, sir.
Yes,
okay. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Because of time, I just want to know, now that I have had a first experience where I was denied this TRV, and I intend to take advantage of this training, this learning, to handle it myself. Because some of the things you mentioned here, they were never demanded or requested from me by the agent. So now it is obvious that that was why there was a denial. So now, what am I supposed to request from the agent? Is it just the login details to enable me have access to the platform, and then edit the whole thing to now have my own, to take charge of the platform and then handle it myself? Or are there other things I should ask or request from the agent so that I can take full control of my own request? Can you hear me, sir? Did you get that?
Okay, now most agents in the industry, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I got it. Can you hear me too?
Yes, I can hear you now, sir.
Me?
Yes, I can hear you now, sir.
Okay, now what I'm saying is, yeah, great. Reach out to the agent, ask him to give you access. You can add other people to your account. Let's assume he created the account. He can still add other persons to his account. Just like a Facebook page or group where you can have other admins and other people to manage it. So all you need to do as one of the people who can actually have access to the account, and you gain access to your information and do the right thing. The reason is you can't actually start creating multiple accounts because you have your information on their database already. And you can't actually tell what information your agents use. Maybe the agent did not get to provide adequate or
yes,
your information. So that will still jeopardize your chances and might even lead to a ban. So it's expected politely reach out to your agent the best way you can. Help make.
I can't hear you again, sir. Hey, God. Hello?
And this time, don't go through the same route.
Okay, hello.
I cannot hear you, sir. I cannot hear you, sir. We cannot hear you at all, sir.
Try to explore that route. Don't get to use the same route.
Hello, good evening. Hold on, everyone.
Are you hearing me now?
Hello, we can hear you, sir. Sir, I don't know if it will be okay. Maybe we should, just for us to have better network, maybe we'll talk later and then find out a better time that you will be available probably with a better network to round up this, because a lot of things, information are being missed because of this network issue. So I don't know if I'm speaking our minds on this.
Very well, madam, because
Yes,
ma. Yes, ma, you are.
Yeah, your idea is quite welcomed.
Because all
Okay,
right,
so
I don't know.
It's accepted.
it's very, very
Can we drop our questions on WhatsApp page and let him attend to them on voice note and drop it down for us?
Would that be possible?
That will not be too good. Let's have a live class like this.
Okay,
Live
no
class
problem.
is
Thank
better,
you.
please.
That's a good suggestion.
Live
a
class
live
is
class
better.
is
To answer
better.
the question.
You'll be able to
You never
analyze
know how
well.
network will turn out.
The network is because it's not home. It's because it's using Wi-Fi outside. If it's home, it's better.
Network is not really very good on us today. So I'll just permit me to get back to him, and then let's see how we can have this done.
Okay, it's fine. I'm actually around, no problem. Let's work with the organizers, maybe get another date and time so that we can actually brace up and finish up.
Because as it is now, we are really, really missing a lot. Even the questions that have been asked, we are not getting the responses very well.
I have a very pressing question too.
Yes. So please, so that you don't forget your question, you can just write them down so that you don't forget. I'm going to communicate a date. I know we are supposed to round up this today. It's also going to tell on us too, because it's not part of our budget, but things happen. So I think we'll just get another day when you will be available. Then we'll just fix up this meeting and we'll be done with it.
Okay, that'll be fine.
That'll
That's
be
okay
fine,
by me too.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much,
And
Mr. Wells. God
Submitted
bless
now.
you. Thank you.
all right. Thank you, sorry, very well, Mr. Wells. That we'll have to call you back again on
Yeah,
this.
thanks so
So
much,
please.
Madam Doctor.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
it's fine. It's okay.
All right. So the date will be communicated to us in our different classes. And in case you have any pressing question that needs its urgent attention, just drop it in your group. I will get your response to you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So let's call it now. It's all right. Good night, everyone.
Good night,
right,
sir.
thank you.
Good night,
Yeah,
ma'am.
good night, but we need
All
his
right.
contact, We need his contact. Thank you, madam.
This is an all-important class. We need everything we can get here, please.
We promised to talk about the insurance tonight. The time, I don't know if we can get extended tomorrow, madam.